Good afternoon, everyone. Is it on? Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to ask everyone to please take your seats. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's my distinct honor to welcome everyone to the 2017 Cal Poly Fall Conference, kicking off the start of the academic year. My name is Vizcaíno Villa. And I'll be serving as your Master of Ceremonies today, and I am also the Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance here at the university. I would like to start by thanking the Arab Ensemble for the beautiful music they played for us as we were entering the facility. They will play for us again at the reception that will follow the formal ceremony this afternoon. Let me start by introducing some of our campus leaders. President Jeffrey Armstrong, Sharon Armstrong, Kathleen N. Svinken, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. And I would ask you to please hold your applause until we conclude all of the introductions, please. Keith Humphrey, Vice President for Academic Affairs, for Student Affairs. Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion, Josie De Leon. Associate Vice President, Jim Maraviglia. Andy Thulin, Dean of the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences. Christine Theodoropoulos, Dean of the College of Architecture and Environmental Design. Jim Maher, Interim Dean of the College of Engineering. Doug Epperson, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts. Phil Bailey, Director of the Frost Fund. Jessica Darren, Chief of Staff. Chris Murphy, Chief Communications Officer. Bob Linscheid, Trustee Emeritus for the California State University System and Special Advisor for Economic Development. We also have some community leaders that are in attendance today, and I'd just like to introduce them and also just wave in and say hello to the group, please. We have San Luis Obispo County 5th District Supervisor Debbie Arnold, San Luis Obispo City Council Member Andy Peace, San Luis Obispo City Manager Katie Lichtig, and I would like to add, Katie, that I just want to express Cal Poly's appreciation for your service, for your partnership, and for your leadership during your time as city manager. We wish you the very best in your new adventure in Santa Monica, right? And Derek, congratulations to you as well. We will look forward to working with you. San Luis Coastal Unified School District Superintendent Eric Prater. Cuesta College President Gil Stork. And we also have staff from the offices of Congressman Salud Carbajal, Senator Bill Monning, and Assembly Member Jordan Cunningham. I'd also like to acknowledge Maureen Zawalik, representing PG&E. Thank you all very much. I'm now pleased to introduce the first three speakers for our event this afternoon, representing the Labor Council, ASI, and the Academic Senate. I'd ask each of the speakers to come to the stage as I introduce you. First, representing the Labor Council is Louis Call. Louis is a faculty member in the History Department.
Well, hello, and welcome to Fall Quarter. I'm the Vice President of the San Luis Obispo chapter of the California Faculty Association. CFA is the union that represents the faculty of the California State University, including Cal Poly. CFA represents all the faculty, including professors, lecturers, librarians, counselors, and coaches. So I'd like to welcome you on behalf of my brothers, sisters, and non-binary siblings in CFA, CSUEU, and the 5 other unions that represent employees in Cal Poly's 10 collective bargaining units. Unless you're an administrator, you are represented by a union. And we're the lucky ones. Today, only 12% of the American workforce is unionized. Public sector unions like ours are under attack across the country, but luckily, we don't live in Wisconsin. We live in California, the epicenter of public sector trade unionism. Your union will represent you whether or not you join, but they can represent you much more effectively if you do join. Our strength at the bargaining table is directly proportional to our membership rates. So my first piece of advice for you is join your union. I want to let all the faculty in the audience know this is going to be a very big year for bargaining. This year, CFA will be negotiating our next contract with the CSU. Several bargaining sessions have been scheduled for this month and next. The university and the union hope to reach an agreement on salary so that the two parties can go to the state legislature together and request that the necessary funds be added to the state budget. The CFA and the CSU expressed their commitment to this very sensible process in our April 2016 salary settlement, and it's great to see them following through on that. We will also be encouraging the administration to implement the recommendations of the state auditor's report, which was released last April. I've been here 20 years, so I wasn't surprised at the auditor's findings, but some of the newer folks in the audience might be surprised. The auditor found that the CSU has been hiring administrators and giving them raises at rates that significantly outpace those of other employee groups. Since 2007, the number of full-time equivalent administrators in the CSU has grown by over 14%. Meanwhile, full-time equivalent staff grew by only 6%. Full-time equivalent faculty grew by only 7%. And many of those new faculty are poorly paid part-time lecturers with little or no job security. So CSU administration has grown at over twice the rate of faculty and staff. And here at Cal Poly, the number of administrators has grown by over 49%. Cal Poly has almost tripled the CSU's rate of administrative growth. We can do better. We need to do better. CFA is ready to work with Cal Poly administration to put our resources where they will do the most good, in the classrooms. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a very happy and successful academic year.
Thank you, Louis. Next, I would like to introduce our student body president, Riley Nilsen. Riley is majoring in agricultural science in cafes. Riley, I'd like to acknowledge the inspiring and heartfelt letter that you sent to Cal Poly students earlier this week in support of our DACA Mustangs. Your leadership and support of our students that are affected by the rescission of DACA is so much appreciated. Would you please come forward and share your remarks with us today?
Hello, Cal Poly leaders. My name is Riley Nilsen, and I'm excited to serve as the ASI Student Body President this year. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the other ASI leaders that we have here in the room as well. Over here, we have the ASI Chief of Staff, Brett Raffish. We have our Chair of the Board, Danielle Attorney. Our Vice Chair of the Board of Directors, Haley Warner. And the Chair of the University Union Advisory Board, Kaylin Sabuti. Now, I'm sure I could use this time for my personal benefit to tell you all about my platform and the cool things I want to do this year. But I think I would rather spend my time sharing with you my personal experience in education and why I chose to come to Cal Poly. I actually took a gap year between my senior year of high school and coming to Cal Poly, where I was admitted in the major of communications, and I interned for the Department of Education in that year. In this role, I traveled to over 100 high schools and taught in classrooms about agricultural education. My favorite part of this internship is after I was done teaching all day, I would stay with a student that was a part of that agricultural program, and their family would cook me dinner and let me sleep in a spare bed or on a couch that night. Every night, I would meet a new family that was so different from my very own. Families that were huge and loud. Some families only had one parent. Some families had two moms. And in these places, I stayed at apartments, in granny units. Sometimes I got to stay in mansions, which was pretty cool. One of the high schools I visited was in a town called Covina, which is around LA, where there is not much production agriculture. However, there are many students who are enrolled in various career technical education programs. In Covina, I stayed with a girl named Maria, whose parents didn't speak a lick of English and didn't have much to give, but they were very excited to welcome me into their home. After dinner, we ate pan together and watched Frozen in Spanish with English subtitles at the bottom of the screen. Cal Poly came up in conversation over and over again with Maria that night, and she had shared with me that Cal Poly was her dream school, but she didn't know if she would get in because she would be the first in her family to go to college, and she didn't know if she had the right resources to compete with students who traditionally get accepted here. But because both of us were lucky enough to have teachers who saw potential in us when no one else did, including ourselves, because we had educators who cared deeply about our future and about the power that education holds, because we had educators that allowed us to go into the power of education, we were able to be admitted to our dream schools of Cal Poly. That was actually the night that I decided to change my major at Cal Poly from communications to agricultural education, because I decided right then and there that I wanted to become an educator. To see students like myself and like Maria, and like a lot of other students who are never told that someone believes in them, see those students go to college. To push the students that parents may be immigrants or their families may be broken, and to inspire students who have never been told that they are smart enough to get a college degree. My point of sharing Maria's story with you is to remind each of you that every day you are faced with a choice of what type of member of our Mustang community you would like to be. It's easy to come to work, to teach from a PowerPoint or respond to emails, and wash, rinse, repeat. But I know what it feels like to be the student that reaps the benefits of having a leader stand up in the front of my classroom. And that's why I changed my major, to be allowed the opportunity that you are given each and every day to tell someone that they are smart, to tell someone that they have incredible ideas and incredible minds, to tell someone that you trust them with your future and believe in them and make people's lives better, to push someone to apply to grad school or law school or to take a year off for an internship. Come to work with an attitude that empowers and motivates others. And if you're someone that gets caught up in the negativity of poly ratings or office gossip, then take a serious step back and remember why students are here, why I am here. I'm here to learn from all of you. I'm here to learn from people, and sometimes people make mistakes, and that's okay. I'm here more than just to learn about teaching modalities or in my botany or animal science classes. I'm here to build relationships with my professors because that is how I learn. I learn from all of you. I am grateful that you have all chosen the professions that you have, and as someone who is studying to be where you are at, I frequently hear from other majors those who can't teach. And I truly believe that couldn't be more inaccurate because the way I see it, those who teach care. You care about our future, you care about our students, and you care about building others up. Your work and your commitment to education does not go unnoticed. And for that, I have to thank you for giving students like myself and like Maria a future. Thank you for caring.
Thank you, Riley. Next, I'd like to introduce the chair of our Academic Senate, Dustin Stegner.
On behalf of the Cal Poly Academic Senate, I would like to welcome everyone to a new academic year. Two questions that many people ask about the Academic Senate is, what the Senate is, and more importantly, what does it do? The Academic Senate is the university's faculty governing body, representing over 1,000 faculty members, and it is comprised of approximately 50 elected faculty representatives, 4 administrators, and 2 students from ASI. The Senate's numerous standing committees work throughout the year on issues such as curricular review, policies affecting academic issues, and collaboration with different administrative groups. In short, the Senate is the principal body for shared governance between the faculty and the administration. I would like to highlight 2 very important examples of the type of work that the Senate and its committees do. The first is the collaboration between President Armstrong, academic personnel, and the Academic Senate Faculty Affairs Committee, which developed the Faculty Equity Salary Adjustment Program. For eligible faculty, this program has had a significant effect on eliminating salary inversion and providing greater clarity about future salary issues. The second issue is the ongoing collaboration between the recently formed university-wide task force on general education and the Academic Senate's General Education Governance Board. Working together, these two groups will look at how general education can be developed to ensure even greater success for all students at Cal Poly. But perhaps the most important function of the Academic Senate is its legislative power over educational matters that affect the general faculty, which include curricula, academic personnel policies, and academic standards. Every year, the Senate works on resolutions that shape the continuous improvement of our courses, policies, and standards. For this reason, I would like to extend an invitation to any interested faculty, both those who have recently begun their careers at Cal Poly and those who have been here for a while, to become involved in the Academic Senate by serving on a Senate committee or task force, by putting their name forward to become a senator when elections are held during winter quarter, or even by providing input to your caucus representatives. I look forward to the beginning of another exciting year at Cal Poly. Many thanks.
It's now time to invite our Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Kathleen Ensfinken, to provide a few brief remarks on various activities across the campus.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really wonderful to see you all here. Welcome back for those of you who were away, and it's great to see those who have been here all summer as well. President Armstrong asked me just to spend a few minutes updating you on a few things, and then he will cover an awful lot more in his speech a little bit later today. Last year, we had several unique challenges on campus, but in each case, we worked together to identify solutions and resolve some very complex situations. For example, in the middle of winter quarter, student affairs, facilities, and academic affairs partnered together to evacuate and relocate nearly 300 students from Fremont Hall during the middle of the winter quarter. We're currently, I just wanted to let you know where we are on that. As you know, that hall is empty, and we are currently working to improve the drainage system and divert the water flow. And this work should be done sometime in October. And by the way, we had another flood on campus. I think you might have seen out here when water main just broke this afternoon. So we not only have to divert the flow from the residence hall, but from the PAC too. Next summer, we'll begin constructing an earthen buttress, and we expect to open Fremont in the fall of 2018, which is the same time that our brand new residence hall complex on Slack and Grand will open. Next, as most of you are likely aware, we have a bumper crop of incoming freshmen this fall, with approximately 800 students more than we originally anticipated. President Armstrong will provide more information about this, but the main reason why this occurred is that we made a very important decision to change our admissions process for this year. We eliminated the option to apply for early decision. Data from universities nationwide clearly indicates that early decision disadvantages students from low-income families. Based on that data, we decided to discontinue early decision, which normally determines about 20 to 25% of our incoming freshman class. That's close to or around 1,000 students a year. Although we made accommodations in our modeling to account for this change in policy, dropping early decision impacted our admissions model in ways that we could not have anticipated, with the end result being a greater number of students selecting Cal Poly than we expected. The decision was the right one, however, because we are seeing incredible growth in the number of low-income students coming to Cal Poly this year. Academic affairs, student affairs, facilities, advising, food service, and many other units on campus have been working all summer to ensure that we're ready to welcome and serve every member of our incoming class. We spent several $1 million hiring additional faculty. We identified and refreshed more space for instructional use, and we worked with advisors and mentors to ensure that we are prepared to serve our entire student body. We're ready for them. I want to thank everyone for their hard work in preparing the campus for success this year, and ask each and everyone in the audience today to welcome them with open arms and a smile. I know that together we'll offer the experience and the education that each one of them deserves. Finally, I want to update you about the graduation initiative, just very briefly. While everyone at Cal Poly has a role in ensuring the success of our graduates, our work on the graduation initiative has been guided by a collaborative team comprised of faculty, associate deans, staff from Student Affairs, the Office of the Registrar, Advising, Administration and Finance, and the Kennedy Library. Our long-term goals are to further increase graduation rates and to make significant progress toward eliminating achievement gaps. To achieve these long-term goals, we are working on many fronts to remove academic, administrative, and financial barriers to graduation, to engage in more proactive academic advising, and to grow our expertise around retention. Promoting student well-being overall is essential to our success. And our enrollment management, as it plays out across every academic department on campus, is a critical component of this work. This project will, of course, be ongoing, and I encourage you all to become involved. It takes an entire campus community to successfully move a student through each stage of their academic experience to commencement. I want to thank all of you for your outstanding contributions to our campus community. I look forward to a great year. Thank you. And now, speaking of outstanding contributions, it's time to celebrate the achievements of our faculty and staff, those awardees for the 2016-2017 academic year. It is particularly meaningful that people are nominated by their peers, their colleagues, and in the case of the Distinguished Teaching and Outstanding Faculty Advisor Awards, their students. Thank you to everyone who took time to nominate someone for an award. I encourage you all to show your colleagues each day that you value their work and their contributions. We all make a difference at Cal Poly, and we all need to feel appreciated. Thank you.
I'd like to ask the President Armstrong to join the Provost on the stage for the presentation of the Faculty and Staff Awards. All right, we will now begin the presentation of the awards. For each of the award recipients, their nominator will describe the individual's accomplishments and the reason for that individual's nomination. The President and the Provost will present the award. We will start with our Distinguished Scholar Awards. Our three winners will receive the Distinguished Scholar Award that reads, "In recognition of your research, contributions to knowledge and student experience, mentoring, and your commitment to learn by doing." I'd like to invite awardee Patrick Lynn, as well as Tal Scriven, to the stage. And Mr. Scriven will say a few words about our first recipients.
Good afternoon. Patrick Lynn came to Poly in 2007. He's the director of the Ethics and Emerging Sciences group, which is housed in Poly's philosophy department. Since coming to the philosophy department, he's published 29 peer-reviewed academic articles, 40 media pieces. He's published 4 major reports for the NSF and the Department of the Navy. He's published 5 books, his most recent one on robot ethics, actually Robot Ethics 2.0, was published this month by Oxford University Press. That volume was co-written with Ryan Jenkins and Keith Abney from our philosophy department. A previous book on robot ethics was co-written with George Becky, who is a scholar in residence in our College of Engineering. Pat has organized 21 major conferences for, amongst others, the U.S. Naval Academy, Stanford, and the International Committee of the Red Cross in Geneva. He's delivered invited briefings and talks to, among others, the United Nations, the U.S. Department of Defense, the CIA, DARPA, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the National Institutes of Health, the National Academies of Science, Cal EPA, Google, Apple, Tesla, Nissan, Bosch, Daimler-Benz, the UN Institute for Disarmament Research, the Swedish Defense Ministry, and the University of Iceland. Next month, he will be giving a plenary talk on artificial intelligence ethics at the National Academy of Engineering's annual conference in D.C. Most of this has been funded by 7 external grants that have brought in $1,264,750 over the last decade. 4 of these were from the NSF. Currently, we await a decision on another grant for over $600,000 from the Department of Defense. Pat embodies the ideal of the teacher, scholar, and the philosopher, as well as anyone I know.
All right, our next awardee is Susan Phelan from the Kinesiology Department, and her nominator is Chris Jankowitz, also from the Kinesiology Department.
Good afternoon. On behalf of my colleagues in the Kinesiology Department, I'm proud to say a few words about my friend Suzanne Phelan. People say she's a creative and a scientific thinker, an incredibly productive scholar, endowed with passionate purpose, generous mentor, a committed friend and community member, and an amazing wife and mother. For nearly 20 years, Suzanne has been engaged in research to combat the epidemic of obesity and the associated consequences to health. 10 years ago, she boldly suggested that we should study whether it improves health outcomes when pregnant women receive information about what to eat, getting physical activity, and how much weight to gain during pregnancy. The conventional wisdom and standard of practice said no, it won't work. It's too risky. It will cause more problems than it solves. But her passionate purpose persisted, and she studied it and pioneered clinical interventions to help underserved populations. Her research findings have contributed to new guidelines from the Institutes of Medicine and the American Academy of Obstetrics and Gynecology for healthy gestational weight gain. One of her latest papers, published in JAMA, disseminates these findings to the medical community. She is at the center of an amazing wheel of people whose research questions and clinical interventions have achieved tremendous success in obtaining grants and getting papers published. But more importantly, these endeavors are designed to ultimately help people, especially those who were and are at the margins of society. She's a generous collaborator, a wonderful mentor, and a remarkable role model to colleagues and students. There's a scene at the end of one of our favorite movies, A League of Their Own, that reminds me of Suzanne because it's reflective of her generosity and mentorship. One sister says to the other, "Thanks for getting me in the league." And she replies, "I didn't get you in the league, I got you on the train." So to Suzanne, with overwhelming sense of gratitude, thanks for getting so many on the train, and congratulations.
Our third Distinguished Scholar recipient is Jay Singh from the Industrial Technology and Packaging Department. Associate Dean Kevin Lurwachara will provide some remarks about Jay's achievements.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to introduce Professor Jay Singh as the recipient of the Distinguished Scholarship Award this year. Jay received a doctoral degree in packaging science from Michigan State University and came to Cal Poly in 2003. And he is now a full professor of packaging in the Offline College of Business. Jay last year has led the effort to create the Center for Packaging Value Chain and a new master's degree and a certificate program in packaging science, which will launch next week. Since joining Cal Poly, he has published over 90 peer-reviewed research articles in sustainable packaging solutions. Internationally recognized as the authority on packaging science, Jay currently serves as the president of the International Association for the Packaging Research Institutes. He has raised over $3 million in external research funding. More importantly, he is dedicated to mentoring and helping students to become career ready. Over the years, Jay's collaboration with students has resulted in 12 patents where students were named as co-inventors and 34 peer-reviewed research articles with students as co-authors. Congratulations.
All right, next we will present the Distinguished Teaching Award recipients. First is Brian Kennelly from the World Languages and Cultures Department. His department chair, John Thompson, will introduce Brian.
For a second year in a row, the Department of World Languages and Cultures is honored to have one of our faculty members receive the university's Outstanding Teaching Award. In the 10 years since he has been at Cal Poly, Dr. Kennelly has promoted the teaching of languages and cultures, especially through the creation of innovative courses such as Post-Apartheid South Africa, where students are challenged to explore issues such as the destruction of colonial-era and apartheid statues, South Africa's, quote, corrective rape culture, and migration and xenophobia. In the area of promoting the teaching of French, Dr. Kennelly's work is recognized at the national level, as he is the current Vice President of the American Association of Teachers of French and serves as the current Chief Reader of the AP French exam. Finally, Dr. Kennelly is well known for his co-curricular activities on campus, including his sponsorship of the new French and Francophone Student Club, which will make a significant contribution to cultural and linguistic diversity at Cal Poly and in our community. Congratulations, Dr. Kennelly, on your award.
Next, we have Elizabeth Lowen from the Political Science Department. Her colleague, Matthew Moore, will say a few words about Elizabeth. Thank you.
We in the Political Science Department had been trying to hide from the rest of you how exceptional Elizabeth Lowen is for fear that she would be taken away from us by someone for some other less important job. But apparently we have failed utterly. The conspiracy began in 2007 when Elizabeth interviewed for the job that we eventually hired her for. We hired her right away and immediately began to take advantage of her skills by making her the director of the Master of Public Policy program on her very first day as an assistant professor. She performed brilliantly, not only managing that completely unreasonable service burden, but also proving to be an exceptional teacher and a productive scholar. Frankly, we hoped that no one would notice. A couple of years ago, Elizabeth wrapped up her tenure as MPP director so she could take up the role of department chair, which she did against the standard career advice as an associate professor. She has been a terrific chair, building on the efforts of previous chairs while also bringing a fresh approach and new ideas, and getting promoted to full professor in the process. We knew we had a winner, and we wanted to keep it quiet. But there was one factor we overlooked: the students. There was no way to hide from them what a great teacher Elizabeth is, and it's students who nominate for the teaching award. I know she's a great teacher because every time I sit in on one of her classes, which I've done many times thanks to Cal Poly's, shall we say, thorough RPT process, I leave wondering how I can steal some idea that she's been using or some activity she's used during her class. Her classes hum with the energy of students who are being pushed and who are surprised to discover what they're capable of. And that is how the proverbial cat got out of the metaphorical bag. I know, the students know, and now you know. We couldn't be more pleased or proud that now everyone knows that Elizabeth deserves this award and recognition. Thank you.
Okay, we will now introduce Anthony Mendez from the Mathematics Department, and Phil Bailey will introduce him.
Well, I can tell you, Tony Mendez is one very respected and popular faculty member. I know that from students directly. Colleagues in nearby offices to his see his full office hours, whether early in the morning or scheduled late in the afternoon, and he greets each student with, "It's great to see you and thanks for coming." He really respects them. Just a couple of years ago, I recommended Tony for promotion to full professor. My rationale included: he truly cares about students and guides them to take personal responsibility for learning. His classroom time is designed to encourage active student participation. Tony teaches a large repertoire of mathematics courses with excellent results across the board. The Engineering Student Council has recognized him for teaching excellence, and the Math Club has done that twice. He has a consistent record of scholarship and is a prolific advisor of senior projects and undergraduate research, and Tony is an absolutely excellent university citizen. Student nominators appreciate his great attitude, personal concern for each student, and the way he uses questions, ideas from students, and even mistakes to guide his class in learning and personal growth. They appreciate that he poses problems as puzzles to be pondered rather than as mechanical chores to find answers, and that he encourages students to talk to one another and exchange ideas. I personally appreciate Tony's belief, and I quote, that education is an incredible tool in building a more equitable society. Thank you, Tony, and congratulations.
Okay, we will now recognize the recipients of the Outstanding Staff Award. Our first recipient is Monica Cantu. Jude Fletterman from Facilities Management and Development will speak about Monica's contributions.
Good afternoon. I am truly honored today to talk about my colleague, Monica Cantu. First, let me tell you a bit about Monica's roles and responsibilities here at Cal Poly. She leads a team of 80 hardworking custodians and laborers on 3 shifts, 7 days a week, who keep over 2 million square feet of our campus administrative and learning spaces clean and usable every day. Just getting that job done day in and day out is probably deserving of an award. However, Monica displays many other leadership traits and behaviors that go far beyond simply managing a work group. She has been described as the Energizer Bunny of custodial services. She spends countless hours here spanning across the 3 custodial shifts, helping set up and clean up of special events such as graduation, but much more importantly, personally providing safety and technical training and other communications to her crews, as well as observing work performance in the field, all for the purpose of improving the capabilities and level of service of her organization. Many of you may personally know or at some time have interacted with Monica, and I want to thank you because I often receive emails, voicemails, and personal thanks regarding the efforts and dedication of her as well as the rest of the custodial team. But all of that is just the nuts and bolts of the job. Monica's qualities go much further than that, and our university benefits every day. Her energy, spirit, selflessness, compassion, and kindness is both visible and contagious. She sincerely cares about her staff and coworkers, students, and faculty. It is my honor to present to you a staff employee who makes a difference every day with a positive impact at her custodial job, and she sincerely deserves the Outstanding Staff Employee Award for 2017, Monica Cantu.
The second recipient of the Outstanding Staff Award is Josh D'Acquisito for his Rose Float coordinator work. Marcy Maloney from ASI will speak about Josh's achievements.
Good afternoon. I am so excited to be here, and I have the honor to introduce Josh to you all as this year's recipients. I first met Josh when he was a freshman at Cal Poly, and he walked into the recreation center and he applied for a job to be a lifeguard. And I will never forget, he was driving his 72 El Camino, which, by the way, he still has, and it's on the side of his house not working. So we are happy, though, that our rose float does make it down the street. Oh, sorry about that. I've known Josh for a long time. After that position, he left campus and came back a few years later and has worked for the Associated Students since 2002. He's held a variety of positions with ASI. However, it is his role as the coordinator of Rose Float that has earned him this award. He has been the Rose Float coordinator since 2008. But I have to say, in the middle of his time as being Rose Float coordinator, I called him one day and I said, Josh, I have a problem. We're remodeling the recreation center and I need somebody to come and research and help us do all of the facility operations to get our remodel done. I pulled him away for a year. He helped us open the recreation center, and then he went back to building floats. Josh works very closely with students from both Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and Cal Poly Pomona campuses to guide them in designing, building, and decorating a float for the annual Tournament of Roses Parade. Josh brings many years of technical and specialized knowledge, including automotive repair, decoration and design techniques, and the myriad of skills necessary for float construction. Josh sacrifices much of his personal time to support the Rose Float program. In fact, one of his daughters has a birthday around that time and wonders, do I have to celebrate my birthday again down in Pasadena? She still goes, and it's wonderful. He spends much of his entire winter break, most weekends in fall, and many weekends in winter and spring quarters. On Saturdays during float building season, as many as 100 students can show up to assist in building the float. Josh is the one who ensures their safety and creates a positive team environment as students engage in the many learn-by-doing opportunities the Rose Float program provides. Josh is the perfect balance between a technical advisor, an administrative advisor, and is an ideal mentor to the students through his team building, leadership development, and polytechnic nature of this program. We actually call him MacGyver because you can give him a paperclip and duct tape and he can do just about anything with it. In many years, it is not uncommon to see Josh up all night with the Cal Poly students team, hoping and making sure that every screw is in place before it goes down the 5.5-mile route the next day. Cal Poly, under Josh's leadership, the Rose Float, has won more than 50 awards, including the Lathrop K. Leasham Trophy in 2016 for the most beautiful non-commercial float. We are so proud to acknowledge Josh's contributions to the Cal Poly community. And Josh, I just want to say thank you very much for everything that you've done.
Okay, Ray Ward is the final recipient of the Outstanding Staff Award. Ray is an equipment technician in the Architectural Engineering Department. Ed Saliklis from that same department will introduce Ray.
It's such a wonderful honor to share these moments with these well-deserving recipients. It's hard to sing Ray's praises in 2 minutes. He's a master of all trades, and he's contributed greatly not only to our department, but to our college and to the university. He served in other departments over his career. Many of us faculty members have experienced firsthand his incredible work ethic, his unwavering commitment to always be available to help us no matter what, and his imaginative and truly masterful solutions to problems that to us seemed difficult, if not impossible. Ray has worked at Cal Poly for a number of years, and he has a lot of amazing bullet points on his resume. He was one of the original designers for the human-powered helicopter, and it actually lifted up off the ground, and it flew for a bit. His specialty is the rewiring of ancient testing machines. We have testing machines in my department from the 1940s that use vacuum tubes. Ray has re-instrumented them to receive modern data acquisition techniques and systems, but he has to stealthily go to post-Soviet Union crumbling factories in Bulgaria to get these tubes, and he does that, probably on the helicopter, I think. He's also a mentor to our students. This is a huge part of his job. He teaches our students and he inspires our students to come up with creative solutions from everything from welding a huge sculpture out of scrap metal to passive air filtration systems to be used in cities like Cairo. He's also, on a personal note, I just wanted to add, he's deeply committed to family life. Ray and his wife have been foster parents for many, many years. Dozens of disenfranchised children have been taken under their wing. He's won a national award for that. And probably his most memorable moment in that was that he was asked to walk down the aisle for one of the girls' weddings, and he flew across the nation to do it. I'm honored to congratulate Ray Ward.
Our next award recipient is Elena Keeling. She has earned the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award. To speak about Elena's accomplishments in this area, I invite Phil Bailey to join us, and Elena as well.
Do you know how irritating this thing is? I turned in my remarks, but I've changed them, so reading off of this is not useful. Okay. For the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, first thing, nominations are limited to 300 words. That's not enough, but I did it. It took me a while, exactly 300. A student nominator is also required. I didn't know that, and we were just 2 days before we had to get the nomination in. Ask a couple of students, the word spread, and I was still getting offers of students to nominate Elena after the deadline. There are lots of reasons that Elena is receiving this award. She has a full knowledge of the curriculum as a result of being chair of the College of Science and Mathematics Curriculum Committee, and as past recipient of the Distinguished Teaching Award, she is an expert in implementing curriculum. She is advisor to dozens of students annually, both academically and in senior project and research. She's co-creator of the College of Science and Math Annual Student Research Conference and has coordinated it since 2001. Excuse me. I'll try it. Elena has made an impact on advising university-wide as a contributor to the College of Science and Math Advising Center, Mustang Success Center, Freshman Success Program, a Beacon Mentor Program, Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, WOW, and Polycultural Weekend. Never mind. One can find her at almost anything to support students. What I've mentioned is important, but not why I nominated Elena. I nominated her because I trust her expertise, creativity, thoughtfulness, and compassion in working with students, especially those with significant and difficult issues, and her relentless support towards their academic success and graduation. She is as committed and dedicated to our students as anyone I know. Congratulations, Elena.
I'll ask Phil to stay on the stage because next we congratulate Raymond Fernando, who is a recipient of the Provost Leadership Award for Partnership and Philanthropy. Phil, would you please say a few words and introduce Fernando?
Okay. The president is so helpful. He told me to bring out the part on Ray and not just reread the one on Elena. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Ray Fernando came to Cal Poly in 2002 as director of the Kenneth N. Edwards Western Coatings Technology Center after a successful career in industry. It's no wonder that he got involved in fundraising. Cal Poly had just completed a record-setting centennial campaign during which the College of Science and Mathematics had received the largest gift in Cal Poly's history at that time, and Ray became the first occupant of Cal Poly's first endowed chair, the Arthur C. Edwards Chair for Coatings, Ecology, and Technology. With his extensive knowledge of the coatings industry and his set of golf clubs, Ray made lasting relationships with industry leaders. That's true, I know that. Well, it stops when I stop. These industry ties led to job opportunities, research projects, and internships for Cal Poly students, and over $350,000 in donations for student scholarships and research. Ray was also an important partner in our raising $3 million for the Western Coating Technology Center facilities located on the 5th floor of the Baker Center. And this year, he led a $1 million campaign to expand the Western Coatings Technology Center when the new Science and Agriculture Teaching and Research Complex becomes a reality, and Ray has already exceeded that $1 million goal. The Edwards Western Coatings Technology Center and the Polymers and Coatings program has gained national and international prominence because of Ray's leadership and the outstanding contributions to the program by our faculty, staff, and students. Congratulations to you, Ray, and to your students and faculty colleagues in this program.
Next, we will congratulate the recipients of the Learn by Doing Scholar Award. First, I would like to ask Kevin Taylor to the stage, and he will say a few words about our first awardee in this category, Lynn Metcalf.
Hello, everyone. Wow, some great awardees and some great introductions. I'm not sure the introduction is going to live up to the quality of some of those, but the recipient certainly does. It's my honor and privilege to introduce to you Professor Lynn Metcalf, recipient of the Learn by Doing Scholar Award. My computer regularly has the temerity to remind me that I should know Lynn Metcalf, like I should take her out for coffee or something. Apparently, the website LinkedIn has discovered that we both got our PhDs at the University of South Carolina, and so now it keeps prompting me to send a, whatever you call that, a friend request or something. So you'll probably get one of those later, and yeah. I'm probably going to get a few hundred now, just for fun. So Lynn and I never actually met at USC, but we did meet 17 years ago here at Cal Poly when we participated in what would now be known as a learning community. Back in the day, it was just a workshop on service learning, but it was a really good one and very impactful. Service learning at its core is applied learn by doing. It's experiential education employed in a way that meets a community need. And Professor Metcalf has been using these transformational experiences with our students ever since. The work for which she and her team are being recognized today involves a peer mentoring program for students of marketing. It's service learning performed by seniors and senior students for their more junior colleagues. It sets expectations for good business practice, and it reminds students that helping others and caring for each other is good for humans and for business. This award recognizes work that goes beyond crafting great learn-by-doing experiences and examines the efficacy of our signature pedagogy. The work that Lynn and her team published in Marketing Education Review showed that the peer mentoring approach they employ not only increases students' mastery of course content, but also increases their positive perceptions of the learning experience. Professor Lynn Metcalf leads this team and is quick to acknowledge that it is very much a team effort. Professor Metcalf is receiving this award on behalf of her team, which includes Stern Neal, Lisa Simon, Sharon Dobson, and Brennan Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Lynn Metcalf.
Finally, Brett Bodemer from the Kennedy Library is going to share some of his thoughts about Catherine Waitina's Learn by Doing scholarly contributions.
Thank you. So as chair of the 16-17 Learn by Doing Awards Committee, I'm really thrilled to say a few words about Dr. Catherine Waitina's and her innovative contributions to the pedagogy of Learn by Doing. Catherine came to Cal Poly in 2006, in large part drawn by the pedagogy of Learn by Doing. She is currently Associate Professor of English and specializes in 19th century American literature. So no doubt many of you are wondering right now in your seat, how one in the world might want to enact Learn by Doing in a literature class? Well, Catherine's answer to that question is amazing. It is provided by her work with her students, her carefully constructed classroom practices, and her assessments of the impacts of Learn by Doing on the students. Flipping Whitman, her years-long project on the poet Walt Whitman, has led to prestigious conference presentations, publications, and a forthcoming book chapter. So what does this Learn by Doing practice look like? Well, as reading is not a passive activity, it requires active engagement of the students. This includes sitting in a circle reading aloud Whitman's Song of Myself, all 50 pages, on the O'Neill Business Green. This includes students leveraging the vast digitized archive of Whitman manuscripts, exploring textual changes for individual poems in Whitman's own handwriting. This includes students creating YouTube videos. Through these latter two activities, the students are not only engaging with literature, but they are gaining insight into the potentials of digital humanities. After presenting at a national conference, Catherine and her students have been asked to create an hour-long video as one of 52 in a University of Pennsylvania project called Singing Myself Together. Catherine and her students, in essence, will be singing Walt Whitman's Body Electric, not only on the O'Neill Green, but electronically across the entire planet. So Catherine, congratulations on this great contribution to our students and to the pedagogy of Learn by Doing in the humanities.
All right, that concludes the awards portion of our ceremony. What an incredibly talented group of individuals. How about one last round of applause? And now, of course, the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm pleased to introduce President Jeffrey Armstrong, who will provide his keynote address.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again to the award winners. I am very Cal Poly proud. Let's give them another big round of applause. This time of year, tomorrow and the next day, Vice President Humphrey and I will be walking around quite a bit, and I'll frequently say to students, thank you for choosing Cal Poly. So I want to say to our faculty and staff that are coming back, thank you for choosing Cal Poly. I want to say to those of you that are new, thank you for choosing Cal Poly. Would you wave your hand if you're new to Cal Poly? Good. Look at that. I also want to thank those that are listening, streaming, and our guests, community members, city, county, and others that are here today. Thank you for being part of this community and choosing as well. And Katie, thank you again, as Cindy mentioned, for choosing to be here. And Gil Stork, you've announced your retirement. Thank you for choosing the years you've spent in this community. It's amazing. Thank you. So today I want to celebrate with you some of our achievements, most notably around diversity and sustainability. As many of you know, I'm like Phil, I'm going to have to wait for the teleprompter to catch up. There we go. As many of you know, faculty at Cal Poly have long taken a leadership role in promoting the values of diversity and sustainability. For instance, the Academic Senate approved a cultural pluralism requirement in 1991
and diversity learning objectives in 2008. In 2009, it approved sustainability university learning objectives. Cal Poly staff and students have also led our diversity and sustainability efforts over the years. For example, we have an ASI STARS rating of silver, but we're headed to gold. The ASI STARS rating is how the CSU has chosen to measure our compliance with California sustainability requirements. It includes components that impact every area of the university, including energy, water, greenhouse gases, recycling, curriculum, research, procurement, and much more. Now, we all know that Cal Poly is among the leading comprehensive polytechnic universities in the nation. And you also know that Vision 2022 goal is for us to be the premier comprehensive polytechnic. Increasing our graduation rates and eliminating our achievement gaps by 2025 are key to achieving this vision. We must also continue to be more sustainable and diverse. We must reduce our carbon, energy, and water footprint while diversifying not only our faculty, staff, and students, but also our funding sources in order to achieve financial sustainability. As a faculty member, I worked with many sectors of the food industry in areas related to sustainability, such as environmental, food safety, animal welfare, worker safety, and many other aspects. Through these learn-by-doing experiences, I didn't quite call them that at that time, I learned how important it is to be holistic in your thinking and understanding. The diagram on this screen provides and depicts a holistic approach to sustainability for Cal Poly. So it's important to understand, though, that what is sustainable in one environment may not be in another culture, and the same can be said for diversity. In speaking about different types of sustainability, it's essential that we think about the financial sustainability of students, faculty, and staff. This year, we're investing $1 million in faculty and staff salaries. This fulfills our pledge of $3.5 million. We will strive to continue this program if our CSU and state budget conditions allow. We're also working very hard to find solutions to sustainable housing needs for our faculty and staff. We plan to complete our workforce housing project, and as our master plan indicates, pursue other workforce and housing needs in our community, certainly in partnership with the city and county. We will continue to partner with the city, the county, the region, and private entities to bring these projects to fruition. Now, a few years ago, some of you will remember, I talked about being a boy on the farm in Kentucky and working in tobacco. The work was hard, it was tedious, and I often prayed for rain. My father used to say, one drop of rain and I was out of the field. The fields were uneven, so I tended to start in the long rows so I could get to the short rows. When I got to the short rows, I knew it was close to being done. When it comes to diversity and sustainability, we're still in the long rows. We've made some progress, but we know what to do to strive to get to those short rows. Now, another thing I've said every year for the past few years at Fall Conference, I've stated that our incoming class was more diverse and had higher scores and GPAs than the previous year. This fall, I'm pleased to say that our incoming class has the highest GPA and scores and is the most diverse class since Proposition 201 was passed nearly 21 years ago. That's amazing. This is due in part to our continuous diversity efforts and also to a mission-critical decision last year to eliminate early decision in our admissions process. I'm sure there are alumni in the room today who came to Cal Poly through early decision. As the provost indicated, we used to provisionally accept up to 25% of our class by December 15th. Early decision was a great tool for higher education. However, as the state contribution to our budget declined and the investment required by our students and our parents increased over time, early decision now puts students from lower income families at a disadvantage. Why?
because financial aid packets are not finalized until March. So those students who depend most on financial aid were disadvantaged because they couldn't commit to Cal Poly until March. This year, as a result of dropping early decision, the number of underrepresented or Hispanic Latino students entering Cal Poly this fall is approximately 30% greater than it was last year. Among our continuing efforts to increase diversity and inclusion at Cal Poly was the plan to hire a vice president for diversity and inclusion. This year, we hired Dr. Josie De Leon into that role. She's with us here today. Would you stand up, please? She joined us in July, and we're delighted that she chose to come to Cal Poly. She's established two main diversity and inclusion goals. First, we need to develop strategies to diversify the faculty, staff, and students at Cal Poly. We know that our strategies for diversifying the student body are working, and we will expand on those efforts. We're also going to continue to improve how we market to, recruit, and retain staff and faculty who will make our community more diverse. Second, we need to cultivate a healthy, respectful, and inclusive campus with a strong sense of community, family. To achieve our goals, Vice President De Leon is exploring using the collective impact model. This model requires that we come together with a common agenda and identify clear measures of success. The model also stresses that we engage in mutually reinforcing activities and communicate regularly what our goals are and how we will meet them. Her office, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, is the backbone of this effort, with a key benefit that every department and unit on campus will be involved. Simply put, diversity and inclusion is important to all, so all must be engaged. So we know there are challenges in recruiting and retaining low-income first-generation students. We know how to overcome these challenges, and we also know that it will require additional resources. Cal Poly Scholars is a clear example of how to be successful. The program is in its 5th year, and it continues to grow. Due to the generosity of our alumni, faculty, staff, and corporate sponsors, we now have scholars in every college. Scholarships of $3,000 to $5,000 per year are awarded based on expected family contribution or their family income. Very importantly, scholars are required to live on campus for their first 2 years, and they're also required to participate in advising, mentoring, and other support programs. As depicted in this slide, you'll see that this program invariably increases diversity. Our typical entering class of freshmen in engineering is approximately 55% white. However, among Cal Poly scholars, the majority of students come from underrepresented minorities. The percentage of white drops to about 12%. The percentage of Hispanic or Latino increases to over 30%, and you'll see that the percentage Asian increases to over 40%. It's critical to also understand that 22% of our freshman engineering students are first generation, as Riley mentioned. Nearly 70% of Cal Poly scholars are first generation. Now, equally important, we are retaining these high-performing students. Retention at the junior year for one cohort is shown in this slide. Retention of Cal Poly scholars in engineering is not different than non-first generation students. Sharon and I know firsthand, as many of you do in the room today, that for first generation students, education opens doors and propels us to success, and it's generational success. Enhancing diversity and inclusion requires multiple actions. Thus, we've also added 2 scholarships this year. 2 scholarships were provided by 2 non-alumni who each donated $1 million to support diversity at Cal Poly. The first is the McCoy Scholars. Our donor learned that Elijah McCoy was a famous African-American engineer who owned many patents associated with the early railroad. So much that the phrase, the real McCoy, came from his success. So this donor named these funds the McCoy Funds. Through these funds, we're providing 9 African American engineering students with an annual scholarship of up to $20,000 per year. The second new program is the Meritorious Scholars, which provides 12 students from underrepresented minority groups across all majors up to $15,000 per year. And I would point out that these scholarships are Proposition 209 compliant and are made available through an external foundation. Now more than ever, with the rescission of DACA, we need to stand firm in our commitment to our students, faculty, and staff from all backgrounds. Cal Poly offers a unique and valuable education to its students. We need to be vigilant in providing access to all demographics. So as we plan ahead, we need to find ways of providing more financial aid to first-generation students from low-income backgrounds and more support for them while they're here. Our tuition and fees at Cal Poly remain lower than all the CSU campuses. However, adding campus fees over the years to support our Learn by Doing, our upside-down curriculum, and our high-investment majors without building aid into those fees has caused a problem. Let me be more specific in order to really emphasize this point. Take a look at this graph. The cost of attendance, net of aid, for low-income students in 2015-16 averaged $18,000 for Cal Poly, $15,000 for the UCs, and $10,500 for all the CSUs, including Cal Poly. So it is imperative and important that we graduate students from low-income and first-generation backgrounds in all majors. But it's particularly important in STEM majors, where experts project by mid-century the state will fall dramatically short of the STEM expertise we will need. I believe it is a moral imperative that we provide financial aid for campus fees for low-income first-generation California students. When we couple this with housing all freshmen and sophomores on campus by 2022, we'll enhance graduation rates and eliminate the achievement gap by 2025. Just as we are making progress diversifying our student body, and as we begin working with Vice President De Leon to diversify further our faculty and our staff, we continue to take great strides toward achieving our sustainability goals, where there is also a great deal to celebrate. In 2015, I committed us to continuous improvement when I signed the second Nature Climate Commitment. Today, we are exceeding CSU and California sustainability objectives. Our track record is strong. We have doubled our square footage on this campus since the 1990s, while simultaneously reducing our overall greenhouse gas emissions back to what they were in the early 90s. Since the 90s, we've invested $50 million in energy efficiency and infrastructure that's resulted in over $5 million annual savings per year. That's saving money and continue to save money. So another way to look at it is we're using the same amount of energy that was once consumed by half the number of people and before almost $1 billion of additional construction was completed. We've also had similar success in water conservation. In spite of all the growth, Cal Poly, we used 20% less water than we did in 1990. In 2015, we reduced our water usage by 31% in response to Governor Brown's declaration of drought emergency. In years to come, we plan to meet the majority of our future water needs through conservation and recycled water. Our facilities department is also participating in a public-private partnership that will provide a 4.5 megawatt ground-mounted solar array that's going to produce 25% of our electricity. This project will be completed this year, and it's a collaboration with a local company founded by Cal Poly alumni. That's an extra bonus. As one would expect, Learn by Doing will be part of that project, as the solar farm will also provide curricular and research opportunities. The partnership will provide on-site Learn by Doing opportunities and a solar engineering and microgrid array at the Electrical Engineering Building. Before I turn to a few other very important university updates, I'd like to announce this year that we are establishing a new award. Just as for the past several years, we've celebrated diversity through the President's Diversity Award, in spring of 2018, the first President's Sustainability Award will be presented. So our plan over the fall is to discuss this, look at the process, and work through shared governance, and present this award in the spring. There's much more going on in the areas of diversity and sustainability than I can tell you or you want to hear, and there's going to be a lot of information in the lobby during the reception. But I've got a few more minutes before you go to the reception. I do need to talk with you about one other topic involving sustainability. Specifically, we need to match our enrollment with our resources. As you've heard today, we expect our total enrollment this fall to be approximately 800 more than fall of 2016. In partnership with you, our faculty and staff, our admissions team has consistently brought to Cal Poly the brightest and most self-motivated students each year. And of course, this remains true about this incoming class. As we previously noted, this growth is largely due to eliminating early decision, which changed our model. The end result is that we have more freshman students that accepted Cal Poly than we had planned. So I appreciate the work that's already been done and the work that you're going to do in supporting these students and the partnership that we have in the city in making sure this all works. Now, as I alluded to, this weekend's very special. It's move-in, but this weekend we will kick off our 60th annual Week of Welcome. And I also have to say, I have to think about Arlene Chandler and remember her as she started that, as she started WOW. Now, many of you know or may not know that we embraced mandatory orientation for students. Our research showed that our low-income and first-generation students were skipping orientation due to financial concerns. While we had scholarships available, they didn't know. They didn't take advantage. So we made orientation mandatory to ensure that all students receive the benefits. We've also embedded financial aid within the program, and we've already given out over $180,000 so that all students can participate in orientation and start with a running start. So it's for, thank you. It's for a similar mindset. That's why eventually we will make housing on campus mandatory for freshmen and sophomores. But this has to be accompanied with additional financial aid. We can't do it today. Among the many changes that we're making in order to accommodate this larger class this year are some changes in our infrastructure, both to mitigate the new students coming in, but also for continuous improvement. As Provost Insfinken mentioned earlier, we've added classes and faculty. We block scheduled for freshmen the whole year. We've prepared our advisors, financial aid experts, staff in the registrar, and various student affairs offices. We've also added approximately 1,000 beds to Poly Canyon Village, more doctors, and with partnership with IT, information technology on campus, Student Affairs has added 2,000 Wi-Fi points in PCV and Cerro Vista alone to improve the bandwidth. We've also made some investments in student health and well-being, and we will be discussing additional solutions to continue to move toward excellence in this very important area this fall. We have many more plans to bolster our digital infrastructure. We've been woefully behind in our IT infrastructure, so it's critical that we leapfrog technology and future-proof Cal Poly. During the fall quarter, we plan to provide additional capacity and speed in the campus network. In addition, as new facilities are built, they'll be augmented by the increased network capacity. We're also working to enhance and implement a data program, a CRM, for the entire campus over the next 2 to 3 years. Think about it. As a comprehensive polytechnic university, nearly everything we do has to do with data and connectivity. Equally important, this enhanced bandwidth will also bolster the development of student and faculty-driven IP, intellectual property, training efforts such as the California Cyber Training Center at Camp San Luis, and overall public-private partnerships on Cal Poly property and around. Thus, it will contribute to our efforts to grow economic development in our region. Earlier this year, we addressed our aging technological infrastructure by partnering with Amazon Web Services, AWS, to move the university to the cloud. Our data center was simply not sustainable. This partnership allows us to access and use our own data securely and with ease. But this strategic partnership with AWS goes well beyond the cloud. We've announced the formation of the Cal Poly Digital Transformation Hub powered by AWS. The funding and cloud resources for this hub are largely provided by AWS with an open door for faculty, staff, students, and others to take problems there that are in need of a solution. Approximately $10 million in resources have been provided over the next 3 to 5 years with 3 focus areas: Cal Poly, our cyber forensics and training efforts, and other members of the CSU. Let me go back to unplanned versus planned enrollment. I want to remind you that in 2015, we announced that we were striving for steady state enrollment. That's keeping it close to the same number as possible. We're going to work over the next couple of years to lower our enrollment this fall back down to fall of 2016 levels. Now, we also know we need new facilities for teaching, and we have some teaching spaces coming online, but we will not benefit from these new spaces until fall of 2022. Consequently, Cal Poly will remain at a steady state enrollment close to fall 2016 levels for a number of years. I see growth occurring no earlier than fall of 2022. And I would reiterate that if we grow, and I underscore if we grow, we must have resources for faculty and staff beyond the required space that we know is needed for additional students. In connection with this, we are rewriting the strategic plan based on feedback we received from you and, again, our continued evaluation of budget, space, and other projections for the future. We'll present that plan to the campus this fall. We intend to emphasize student, faculty, and staff success, sustainability, diversity and inclusion, and, of course, financial sustainability. We also made great strides in development this past year, and we expect to do so this year. Last year, we set a record for Cal Poly by securing $141 million in 1 year. The transformational gift from Bill and Linda Frost ensures that many generations of students will enjoy learn-by-doing experiences for years to come. As you know from trying to find parking, we have significant construction on campus. The Yaki Tutu housing project, funded by bonds just near us here, is on budget, on time, and underway, as is the Dorr Family Field, a donation by Dick and Kit Dorr. The field and track renovation will benefit all students, including our student athletes. This is a great example of a partnership among donors, ASI, Student Affairs, and Cal Poly Corporation. Later this year, we'll start the construction of the Dignity Health Baseball Clubhouse, and we're also deep in planning for the Science and Agricultural and Teaching Center, which will house space for undergraduate and master's research for 3 colleges: Science and Mathematics, Liberal Arts, and the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences. We've secured around $70 million for this facility, and we're also pleased as part of that, the CSU has committed $10 million for teaching facilities. We're initiating design this month with the final scope of the project to be determined by April of next year. In all, we see the total of this project being somewhere between $82 million and $152 million. We also started programming for the renovation and addition to Kennedy Library. This project will cost nearly $60 million with an anticipated completion date by 2022, which is similar for the other building. Economic development remains a critical focus for Cal Poly and this region. We are in phase 2 of the Tech Park expansion. The Hot House continues to thrive downtown and on campus. The Cybersecurity Training Center and the Central Coast Cyber Forensics Laboratory have all been established. We're also developing partnerships with key community members and, of course, PG&E around the issues that will be created by the decommission of Diablo Canyon by 2024-25. Not only will there be a loss of 1,500 head of household jobs, it also raises the question of how the facility will be used. We have gone on record and we favor an approach that involves repurposing and reusing this facility. We expect our master plan as well as our workforce housing project with 420 apartments to go to the board in January, the Board of Trustees, CSU Board of Trustees to be clear. In our local planning, we are starting to look beyond where our projects are now. For example, our teams are already planning for more student housing. Our next step is to provide up to 2,600 additional beds by 2022. I want to be clear, this is 2,600 beyond the 1,450 that will open next year. By doing so, and by building workforce housing, as we are on the corner of Grand and Slack, we will help ease the housing pressure in San Luis Obispo. We're going to add beds during a time of steady state enrollment. Also keep in mind that we're going to be partnering, working with the region, the community, the city, the county, to create and add more head of household jobs. So we want to add beds and jobs before we add additional students. As I draw to an end, we need to discuss free speech and the controversial issues of the past few years. It's really important that we do this today because we know this year will not be any different and it will be just as active. All students, faculty, staff, others are welcome on this campus regardless of who they are and where they come from. We value each member of our Cal Poly family. Over the past few years, we have had several free speech incidents in which we learned more about how free speech works legally and morally. And we also learned how it impacts our hearts and our minds. We had some successes, and we experienced some learned by doing situations, which we also call mistakes. But I want to stress that we have always erred and will continue to err on the side of protecting free speech and avoiding censoring. It is not just the state law, but it's also our public mandate to support free speech on our campus. If we cannot have free speech on our university campuses, where will it occur? If we censor, where do we draw the line? While I understand that hurtful language exists, I assure you that our priority is to ensure that you and our campus remain safe. If we can join together in our approach to solving any problems we have in this and other areas, we will be successful and we will make progress. We are stronger when we come together to solve issues that challenge our community. Last year, we came together to provide safety and freedom of expression during controversial speakers, support protests, relocate almost 300 students when we had to close Fremont Hall, and this summer, we rallied our forces around this extra enrollment to make sure that student experiences will not be compromised this fall. I am proud of the cross-divisional collaboration and hard work that's occurred and that really supports our community, our Cal Poly family. I know we will take the same approach this year as we come together around Learn by Doing, student, faculty, and staff success, campus climate, sustainability, and many other important initiatives. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. Thank you for choosing Cal Poly. Whether you've been here a day, over 40, or almost 50 like Phil, we value what you do, the leadership you bring to Cal Poly. Think of it this way. It's the beginning of a new year. It's a blank slate that lies ahead of us, and we can each write on it. By working together toward our common goal of providing the best possible education we can through the work of all of us, we can not only replicate our past successes, but exceed them. That's what Learn by Doing is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Armstrong. Before we close the general session, we have a video of some alumni who would like to share with you what the work of this institution has meant to them.
I've never felt like I didn't belong here. I found my niche. It was here on this campus, watching it evolve under the leadership and the faculty that I have met who are here because they're dedicated to what they believe in and what they do. I don't think I could really explain why. It's just I felt comfortable here. And that's why I chose to stay until I realized you're creeping up on 70, so it's time to step back and take a rest. But then I can't because I still want to be involved at this campus and volunteer anything that I can.
One of my first jobs out of law school was a patent attorney for Xerox, and it was just like the textbook that I used in Nelson Smith's class was my #1 resource for what I did.
I think all of the professors there really encouraged me, amongst many statistics students, to dig in and to really learn how important is that for business activity. And it's something that I use today. I'm incredibly thankful for my time at Cal Poly, and it simply wouldn't have been what it was without the faculty encouraging me and all of my peers to be the people that we are today.
There was multiple people involved in my success here at Cal Poly. One of them was Susan Sparling. I met her through the EOP program. When I was a freshman here at Cal Poly, I had a hard time paying for rent. And Susan helped me out by talking to the housing director and got him to extend the deadline for me of when I had to make my rent payments for the dorms. Another faculty member that was instrumental in my success here at Cal Poly was Dr. George Lewis. There was a couple students, including myself, that couldn't pay for rent for the rest of the academic year. And he found out about it. So what he did is he went around the campus asking various faculty members to pitch in, and collectively they raised enough money to finish paying the academic year rent for myself and other students. Without that collective effort as a Cal Poly community, there's no way that I would have been able to finish my school year and finish my rent out for that year.
The poem is what I wrote the day of my retirement party that they gave me. And I'm also have been a closet poet for over 40 years. The poem is entitled My Family. Today, I ponder where my soul is and begins. A journey of 40+ years is about to conclude. Along the way, many have come into my life, all shapes and colors, my rainbow family. Where the next journey begins has not been decided. Will I wander solo to regain my soul and heart? My main traits are I care too deeply and love those around, my family. This is what this campus has been to me. This is what the people I have come in contact mean to me. They're my family.
Lastly, I'd like to say just a few things about the reception, which will begin in just a few minutes. The Office of the President has partnered with Audi and Facilities Management and Development to prepare for us a zero waste event. Even the program for this general session, which I think I have here somewhere, it's a seated, no, I don't have it. But anyway, it's a seat, you have it, Rachel? Thank you. It's a seated paper, and if you will plant it in your home garden and water it, you'll have wildflowers growing in a few days, so it's fantastic. The dishes and the silverware at the reception are either washable or compostable, and the food served will be locally sourced. Please take care to dispose of the food and the waste in the bins provided so that we can maintain this as a zero waste event as intended. In the lobby, you will find several tables that will include information about sustainability and diversity efforts, as well as information about our hunger program and student move-in. I understand we still need volunteers, so Keith will be looking for you. This concludes the general session of the Fall Conference. Thank you all very much for being here, and best wishes to everyone for a fantastic 17-18 academic year.